We have lots of Longhorn sports to talk about, the definitive ranking of the best college football teams, and the MLB playoff series you can't afford to miss. This is College Crossfire.
Longhorn Nation, we're back.
I guess we'll get into it. Always enthusiastic, unbelievable, hard-nosed.
All right, let me explain why Aaron Judge is getting it. You can boo me all you want.
I knew Texas was going to win, and then one of the Texas team was going to lose.
Cannon. I don't like the cannon.
Wait, you don't like this guy?
All right, I'm done. This is all chaos.
Welcome back to College Crossfire. I am your host, Turner Barnes. Texas football took a bye week, but here at TSTV Sports, we never stop. Let's meet our gladiators for this week's debate. First base, Robert Trevino, two-time defending champion. How you doing, Robert?
I'm doing great. Last week I quoted Freddie Gibbs. This week I'm quoting Lil Wayne. He said, "I'm back, three-peat."
All right. All right. On second base, we have Jocelyn. Jocelyn, how you doing?
Hello, I'm ready to do some contending to Robert, hopefully win.
All right.
Excited.
All right, I like the confidence. And on third base, we have a new face, John Kelly. Kelly, how you feeling on your first show?
I'm excited. I'm ready to come out, compete, and win.
All right. We got three
Competitive.
people who are ready to win. The Texas Longhorns are back on the field this weekend as they take on West Virginia. The Mountaineers have not looked as good as they have in recent years, and with a huge rivalry game against OU next weekend, the Longhorns have reason to chalk this game up as a win before it even starts. But will Texas focus and take care of business, or will this game be closer than it needs to be? This week we're changing up A block a little bit. We're going to go just like normal down the line. Robert, we're going to start with you.
Well, I think last year, West Virginia coming into Austin and defeating Texas on the last play, going for two to win 43-42, really demoralized the Longhorns, and it really changed the course of their season from being chasing a national championship, potentially, to really just fighting and trying to get to the Sugar Bowl, which they did. Will Greer's gone. Their coach was gone, Dana Holderson. I think this is going to be a beatdown because Texas is trying to get revenge. You have Sam Ehlinger saying, quote, "I remember everybody who disrespects the University of Texas at Austin when he saw Will Greer throwing the horns down." I think this is going to be a very emotional game for Sam Ehlinger, for all of Texas players that lost last year at home. I think Texas is going to win big. This will not be a trap game.
Yeah.
All right, coming in strong. Jocelyn, what do you think?
Simple. I also believe this is not a trap game. I mean, they lost to them last year, and most of those former players have that remembrance lingering, that fuel to beat you. Whenever you lose to a team, the next season you do not want to like go in at it easy, you know. So literally, going into the game, you need to come out strong.
All right, absolutely. And Tom Herman is definitely going to have his team ready to go. John, what do you think?
I think it's going to be a trap game. I mean, as Robert and Jocelyn said, there's a lot of that, hatred from last year, the emotions, and that's going to be difficult for, I feel, the Longhorns to handle. They got to be able to control it. They're going to be in West Virginia. This is really their first full away game. West Virginia is tough for everyone. There's going to be basically no support for the Longhorns there. They're going to have to be able to ride it out, and I think it's going to be a really close game between the emotion and the fact that it's going to be such a isolated away game.
Yeah, absolutely. Morgantown is always hard to play in. Texas is short-staffed with injuries, and I think it's going to be closer than a lot of people do. I'm going to go with John. John, you're going to get your first points on College Crossfire. Attaboy, John. Watch out, Texas. After beating Iowa State and Texas Tech last week, the number 6 Texas volleyball team is 2-0 in conference play. The Longhorns have what should be an easy ride the rest of the season, apart from 2 games against number 1 Baylor. So what is the toughest challenge for this Texas team? Is it Baylor, or maybe something that doesn't show up on the schedule? Jocelyn, we're going to start with you.
Obviously, the answer is Baylor, right? They are undefeated right now, 5-0, which is well-deserved. And let's see how Texas will come in with that matchup. But honestly, they also need to figure out their internal problems. So to me, not only coming out every game like it's a big rival, but also focusing on their internal. Serving has improved, but they need to come out strong if they are ranked number 6 and not downplay to the whatever team they're playing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there have been a few times that Texas has not looked super sharp on the things that Texas usually does, like serving
Yes,
and
definitely.
kind of the intangible things. John?
Obviously, Baylor, yes, is a issue, but also their defense. 2 weeks ago, they lost to Rice, and since then, it's been their focus to improve defense. And slowly, they have had the opportunity to see their game on Saturday against Texas Tech, and they definitely improved there. If they can keep that improvement going on defense, then they'll be able to succeed, especially against Baylor. But they got to keep working on that defense.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Defense wins championships. That's the saying, right? Robert?
The key for this Texas team is going to be grinding their way through the Big 12 gauntlet. And that means that they're going to basically have to be on for every game. Now, you say that you want to win every game. When it comes to a team like Baylor that's number 1 in the country, you're honestly kind of fine with just splitting those appearances. But I think that for Texas, it's going to be very important to handle teams like they did Texas Tech and win those games at home, going on the road, just staying to where they're winning every game. It doesn't matter if you win by an inch or by a mile. You just got to win, because winning is winning, as Vin Diesel said. And so Texas is going to have to win those games that they are expected to, and then come to play Baylor, and hopefully they can take one of those too.
Yeah, I mean, but the Big 12 hasn't been near as strong as it has in the past few years. So, Jocelyn, I'm going to give you the point. I think Texas needs to clean it up. First, attaboy, Jocelyn. Texas needs to clean up the intangibles if they want to make it deep in the postseason.
The only matchup we might see is the number 1 Baylor. So.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, moving on. Texas soccer took a trip up to Kansas and came back with 2 conference wins. The Longhorns beat both Kansas and Kansas State 1-0 to start conference play undefeated. But after an inconsistent start to the season, do you think Texas gained enough momentum to finish the season strong? John, we're going to start with you.
I do. I think they've had a fairly good season. And the rest of their season, they're at home except for 1 game. I think they have the ability to do well for the rest of the Big 12 games, which is the rest of their games, and will be able to finish out strong.
Yeah, and I mean, Texas is historically pretty good at home. So that's definitely an advantage for the Longhorns. Robert?
Well, I think momentum is probably one of the most overrated probably aspects of sport that we talk about. It's really for the buzz, for the media, but I think that really Texas is moving along pretty well, and I think they haven't really tripped up at all. And the Big 12, in the volleyball answer, you said they're not pretty strong. I think the Big 12 is pretty strong in terms of soccer, a little more, at least not as bottom heavy, not as top heavy. So I think they have 2 big games coming up this week at home, and they're at home, and that plays to their strengths for the rest of the year. But I think Texas, they're all in all just a good team, and I think that how they've been playing has just reflected that.
Jocelyn?
Yeah, definitely. Starting off conference play, winning is obviously always a good thing, right? But my co-partners here are discussing the home play advantage, but we also have to take that Texas has a solid team. You have up front on forward positions Haley Berg and Sierra Henson. They are always performing. In the midfield, you have Canadian national women's soccer player Julia Grosso, also always performing. And then the defense is pretty solid with the goalkeeper, junior redshirt Nicole Curry. So to me, definitely the team is strong, started strong, and I see them projecting a good conference play.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think a lot of people may have overreacted a little bit on the slip-ups in the middle of the season because this Texas soccer team is pretty solid. Yeah. Jocelyn, I'm going to give you another point. You got 2. All right, so at the end of the first period, we have Robert with a goose egg, Jocelyn with 2, John with 1. Moving on, whenever we come back, the panel discusses the pecking order of college football teams in Texas in the MLB playoff series you can't afford to miss. You got me. Welcome back to College Crossfire. Before we get back to business, let's check the scoreboard. Robert, goose egg, 0. Jocelyn, 2.
2.
John, 1.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's jump right to the B block. The state of Texas is known for great barbecue and even better football. The Texas Longhorns are number 11 in the latest AP poll, while the second highest ranked team falls at 24. The SMU Mustangs are one spot ahead of those fighting Texas Ags at 25, and the Baylor Bears also received a couple votes. Nobody in their right mind would argue about the Longhorns being the best team in the Lone Star State this year, but who is number 2? Robert, starting with you.
I'm trying to make sure that I get shut out tonight. The Texas A&M Aggies are the second best team in the state of Texas, and it is not even arguable.
Incorrect.
I don't want to say Aria's. I don't want to take Aria's quote, but you can boo me all you want, okay? Texas A&M is better than SMU. SMU, great wins, beating TCU. I'm very impressed by that, but Texas A&M has had to play the toughest schedule in college football, and they still have games left. And it is just pure ignorance if you think that SMU's cupcake schedule even compares to Texas A&M's. Even Texas's schedule does not compare to Texas A&M's. I think the Aggies have played worse than people expected them to, but still, I think Kellen Mond, that team would beat SMU on any given day.
I think you have a point about the hard A&M schedule, but they've looked
played Clemson
bad when they have played those tough teams. They've not looked good, even against
It's hard
tough
to look
teams.
good when you play Clemson.
All right, that's a good point. Jocelyn?
You know, in the past, if we're talking broadly, I would maybe argue more towards A&M because they've had some talent in the past. But if you're talking right now, I'd say SMU. I mean, their team right now is playing amazing, mainly because their transfer portal was pretty good. But still, they are 5-0, well-deserved. They are 24. And I wouldn't say Baylor because they didn't really have any good competition that in my liking, as I would say. But still, SMU for me right now is the best. I don't know why A&M is ranked 25. They are 3-2. 3-2. But Michigan State is 4-1. So why are they ranked over them? Anyways, my hot take is SMU.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good point. The SEC kind of bias maybe in the rankings with A&M being on top of Michigan State.
But if we're talking,
I know you're making the face, but a lot of people are calling it
I
out.
want to argue business-wise, A&M is second best. They have pretty good marketing skills there, but
That's a good point. Okay, maybe second best in marketing,
Okay.
but
Playing
not second
is
best
SMU.
in football. All right, moving on to John. Well, John, what do you think?
I'm going to have to agree with Jocelyn here. Southern Methodist University. Okay, at this point in the season, they've had a better schedule than Baylor. They're 5-0. However, for this point, if they're better, further down the line, Baylor plays OSU, TCU, Texas, and Oklahoma. And if they can pull out some wins there, I have to give them the number 2 spot. However, because of their schedule right now, SMU is number 1. My advice to SMU, change conferences. CUSA sucks. If you want to be ranked more often, move. Get out of there.
Yeah, I think you made a lot of good points. I think SMU has a chance to be a relevant program again, but I think as of right now, SMU looks really good, but I think Baylor in the long term, just quality of athletes, I think by the end of the season we'll realize that Baylor is a little bit better than SMU. And Texas,
But not A&M.
Texas A&M,
But not A&M.
Texas A&M.
We'll have the realization
not-
about Baylor University, but not Texas A&M.
I think Baylor's better than A&M this year.
Ooh.
I don't think A&M should be ranked at all. I agree.
It
John, you're going to get the point. John, you're going to get the point.
Tough crowd.
Moving on, the race for the Fall Classic began last night with a thrilling wildcard matchup where the Washington Nationals defeated the Milwaukee Brewers 3-2 after some late-game heroics. As we speak, the Tampa Bay Rays visit Oakland to try to take down the Athletics just for a chance to probably lose to the Astros. So, guys, what do you think is the most intriguing divisional series matchup this year? Jocelyn.
to me right now it's the Twins versus the Yankees. I mean, the storyline there is the home runs. No team before last season has scored more than 270 home runs, but both teams this season passed that. 306 was the Yankees and 307 were the Twins. So to me, they have a strong offense, both teams. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I'm pretty sure they're going to start off. I forgot the name. I'm sorry, but their pitching is really strong, and to me, Twins should be underrated. So it's going to be a pretty even matchup to me.
All right. I mean, just from the pure excitement level, what's more exciting than the home run, right? Chicks dig the long ball.
Yeah, the offense.
Both these teams have a lot of power, hit a lot of home runs. That's a really good point, Jocelyn. John, what do you think?
I'm also taking the Twins and the Yankees. I think, well, first off, hot take, I hate the National League.
Whoa.
But other than that, the other series in the American League, I mean, the Astros are going to win. Whoever else. What's the other one?
What are you asking?
The other series.
It's the
Oh,
Yankees.
it's the Astros,
Yes.
and they
Astros
actually,
in the wild
The
card,
Astros are going to win. Minnesota Yankees, I feel, is going to be an even matchup. I'm a Rangers fan, so I believe in crazy things happening. I think the Twins are going to be able to pull it off.
Oh, all right. Maybe a magical like Rangers run. Okay. All right.
Well, first off, to go back to yesterday's Nationals-Brewers game, I felt really disheartened for the Brewers pitcher. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. But I think I'm going to have to make it 3 Yankees-Twins here, because when we're talking about the Astros, they are very talented. They are probably going to win their series. I agree with John. I mean, it's pretty set in stone, I think. It would take something crazy. But the Yankees, I think they're for real. But I think the Twins, as Jocelyn said, they're very talented. This is not going to be a series that the Yankees are just going to be able to walk over. And I think that if they find a way to dominate this Twins team or find a way to get over the hump, I think they're going to prove to themselves, really. And I said momentum is overrated earlier. I'm saying it's underrated now. Because I think that once the Twins, if they can get past the Twins, I think they build some huge momentum to play in the Astros.
No love for the Dodgers Nats? No?
No, I think it's more intriguing in the AL than it is in the NL
Okay.
right now.
I mean, I definitely agree as a whole. It's more intriguing in the AL. But I want to see if the Nationals can carry that momentum
Ooh.
all the way. Jocelyn, I'm going to give you the points. The home runs are a big key in this series. They're a big key in this series. It's exciting. And so what do you want to see? You want to see home runs. Jocelyn, you're going to get the point. Going up with 3. Moving on, hockey is finally back. After months of hot and dry summer, the game on ice is ready for an action-packed season. The St. Louis Blues look to repeat as champions. Connor McDavid is coming back from a knee injury, and the Tampa Bay Lightning start their revenge tour. With so many storylines to follow, which team do you think will be the most exciting to watch this year? John, we're going to start with you.
Hot take, Dallas Stars, 100%.
Oh, Dallas Stars?
Pandering.
They were so close.
Pandering.
All right, let's hear it.
They're so close to winning last year. I think they've had a lot of time to focus, work, get ready for this season. They got really good pairings, and I just think they're going to be really good this year.
I'm also pretty high on the Dallas Stars. If you ask me, if they beat the Blues, they win the Stanley Cup, and they were this close to beating the Blues. They did lose Matt Zuccarello, which is a huge loss for the Stars. That's all I'll say about the Stars. I could go on and on. Robert, what do you got?
Well, I think I want to see the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, for a sport like hockey, it's important to put this into maybe basketball terms for some people. This is like if the Golden State Warriors lost in the first round of the NBA playoffs. And so there's nothing else to say. The Lightning, they don't need to go in and question why they're going on this revenge tour. It's all said for them. It's all said for them. You know, you lose in the first round after winning the President's Cup. It's huge. And I think they have the talent, made some great acquisitions to go and run after another Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I mean, a historic season of the Tampa Bay Lightning with very disappointing fashion. You have a very talented team. I agree. That'll be very exciting to watch. Jocelyn?
For me, I'm excited to see the Blues, only because they were the Stanley Cup winners last year, and they took us through a roller coaster ride. I mean, in the preseason, all the fans, all the journalists put them in a little section that was like they couldn't win. Mid-season, they were like they definitely can't win, and then they won. So, to me, let's see what ride they take us through and see if they can prevail. They are the reigning champs.
Yeah, I mean, they were in last place at the turn of the year, and then they came back and won the Stanley Cup. Robert, you're getting your first point of the show. The Tampa Bay Lightning are going to be a very exciting team to watch. They're going to be a very exciting team to watch. At the end of 2, that makes our score 1 for Robert, 3 for Jocelyn, and 1 for John.
Two.
Oh,
Two.
Whoa.
Whoa. The third week in a row. Third week in a row.
all right, great debate, guys. Rapid fire is coming up next. Stick around because it is sure to get heated. Welcome in to Rapid Fire. Before we get the debate going, let's remind the audience of the score and myself, apparently. Again, Robert, you got 1. Jocelyn, you got 3. And John, you have 2. That's right. All right, that is how math works. Thank you. All right, remember in Rapid Fire, every question is worth 2 points. And you know what that means? It's anybody's game.
Is it?
The Texas Rangers said goodbye to Globe Life Park in Arlington by beating the Yankees and then digging up home plate to move to the new ballpark. So, guys, if you could take any item from your favorite ballpark or stadium, what would it be and why? Anybody can answer. Let's hear it.
There's nothing more historic than taking home plate. This is a question where I would love to get fancy and say I'd love to take like a seat or a lot of these other things, but at its essence, a ballpark is home plate. When you stand at home plate, it's the center of all the action. It's where everything happens. And for a great stadium like Globe Life, to be able to take that home would be something incredible and something nobody else would have. I'd take it in a heartbeat.
So, but what stadium? Where would you take it from? Home plate?
I'd take it from Globe Life.
Oh.
The Rangers are my favorite team.
All right. So all right.
We know it's the ballpark in Arlington.
True.
It's
All right,
true.
what else do we have?
I'm gonna think on mine still.
What do you got,
I'm going to
John?
steal Nolan Ryan from the Astros and bring him back to Texas.
Oh, okay.
I think it was absolutely terrible how he got pushed out of the organization, and I think he should be brought back.
Wow. All right, hot take. Not really. You're doing it
take a
selflessly.
player?
Yeah, I'm
Selflessly.
selflessly.
All right,
Yeah,
Jocelyn.
I'm
what do you-
taking like an animal from the stadium, one that's
Oh.
present, and it is Bevo. I would
Evo.
love,
Okay.
I would love to have a longhorn in my backyard.
We're talking
All right, guys.
baseball.
I don't think we have a question here on who gets this point. Jocelyn,
Me?
take home Bevo.
Oh, we're talking baseball.
No, stadium
Oh,
or
stadium.
ballpark.
Oh, ballpark.
Take
Okay,
it home,
ballpark
Bevo.
is
That's
baseball.
great.
Okay.
You got a pet. You got Bevo, the best live mascot in college sports. Jocelyn, you're getting the 2 points, so you are now up to 5. All right, Heisman Trophy contender and Longhorn quarterback Sam Ehlinger turned 21 on Monday. The young quarterback has given Texas fans so many precious wins and great moments. So here on the show, we want to give back to Sam. Guys, what would you give Sam Ehlinger for his birthday?
The respect he deserves in the media.
All right.
I mean, just plain and simple, like, no one has even, or not many people have considered him for a Heisman or just as a good quarterback in general. I feel like he needs the respect he deserves. He's a good quarterback, solid quarterback that will take Texas to a national championship.
All right. I mean, some people say Kellen Mond is up on is better than Sam Ehlinger. I mean, come on. Come on. What else we
How
got?
can you follow that?
All right. How can you
No,
follow that, Jocelyn? You
Actually,
tell
I'm
me.
gonna go more the 21 route. You know,
Ooh.
the age.
Careful.
TV.
What is it? What do you got?
21 full shots of tequila, Mexican style.
Oh, all right.
21.
All right. Yeah, exactly.
He is
That's a good
21.
point.
He is 21.
He's 21. All right, Robert.
I hope that he waits to use Jocelyn's gift maybe for the off season. Just hopefully, I got kind of some like maybe on him as a Heisman contender.
Yeah.
I would give him my Heisman vote. I think that he's been probably the best quarterback in the country, besides I think maybe Joe Burrow right now. And then, you know, as an added gift, I'd give him the little Ehlinger knockoff China jersey that I have here. So
Nice. All right. Gotta give it to Josh. Give him the respect. I'm sorry, John. Gotta give the man the respect he deserves. I need to give you the respect you deserve, John.
Yeah.
All right, the last rapid fire of the day. California passed a law that will allow athletes to profit off their name and likeness. A move many feel should have taken place years ago. Players will now be able to strike endorsement deals and hire agents. So if you were a high-profile college athlete, what would you use your likeness? How would you use your likeness to make money?
Oh, my social media would be just terrible to look at anymore. I would be sponsored by everything that would even be willing to throw me a single dollar. You give me $5, I'll tweet probably like 5 things for you. I'll give you anything you want. Also, I will be open to any sort of endorsement deals in real life. I'll go to a car dealership. Every car dealership in Austin I will travel to probably every day. I won't go to class anymore. I don't need to. I'll just probably just do my endorsement deals around the country. But the problem that I would have is that if I were a student athlete, I wouldn't be good enough for anybody to want me to deliver them some sort of likeness.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same page on that one. But hypothetically, I like your answer. Car dealership commercials, are always kind of funny. But what about you guys?
If I was an influencer getting paid and I was an athlete, I would want my clothing to be reusable, more environmentally friendly. I would like to spark that, and it's honestly a good business rising. We need to get rid of the plastic. Adidas just started making tennis shoes with reusable plastic, so I would really like to encompass that.
Wow. So not even getting paid for you. You want to spark change for others. All right. Very valiant. Very valiant.
I'll be sponsored by Pepsi and by Coca-Cola. I stand for nothing. I stand for nothing.
All right, John, what do you got?
I'd sell my soul to Electronic Arts.
Yes.
NCAA football 2020, where every player is my likeness.
John, you're getting the win. Taking all the points. EA Sports NCAA 2020. Every player is John Kelly. That's what I like to hear. All right. And that means our winner tonight is John. Congratulations. Do we have time for FaceTime? We do have time for FaceTime. John, take it away. You're going to say whatever you want, except for just keep PG.
I think that OU sucks so much. They're the absolute. They don't deserve to be top 4 at all. Honestly, 25. A&M is better than OU. Hot takes here.
All right. We're going high here. We're getting ready for OU weekend next week. Make sure to not sleep on West Virginia, John. I don't know why I keep calling you Josh. John, don't sleep on West Virginia. You said it yourself. It's a trap game. Stay focused. Stay focused, John. All right, that's all the time we have for tonight. Congratulations to our winner, John Kelly. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Be sure to check out our brand new show this semester, the 1-0 Sports Show.